Hey, has it ever seemed like you don't get enough time to connect with your partner? Seems like life just has you guys in a chokehold with your schedules, and you go days and days and days without having good talks. You go days and days and days without seeing how each other's doing, right? Having some check-ins. Well, one of the main reasons why I'm able to, stay stress-free and stay inside of a great connection with my wife is because we take evening walks. Man. We make sure to get outdoors. And so I'm gonna just give you a couple ways that the evening walks and the time outdoors helps us in our relationship, man. So normally we walk like an hour or so after dinner. Now, obviously the suggested timetable is 10 to 15 minutes after you eat, right? To get the steps to aid digestion and all the other things, all the other positive qualities that come with that. But if we're talking about just for relationship purposes, taking the walk the hour later or even 2 hours later, whatever you got to do, you got to fit it in, right? So what we normally do is, obviously that's a time for us to get in our steps. So if either of us haven't met our steps for the day, we do that at that time. So normally it's a brisk walk. I'm not going to act like we're just strolling around the park or nothing like that. It's a brisk walk, but it doesn't have to be a power walk, right? I'm not trying to work up a sweat. She's not trying to work up a sweat. We're just, going at a nice steady pace. So a couple of things that we make sure to talk about is, first of all, how was your afternoon, right? And it's funny because that question can be a little bit redundant, and sometimes we feel like it's so standard and so average. How was your day, right? But it really gives the person a chance to tell you if something happened outside of the norm, because we assume that nothing happened outside of the norm. We assume there was no conflict. We assume there was no happy moments. We assume there were no goals met, but there could have been. And many times my partner just wants to let me in on something that happened, and it didn't have to be that serious, but just wanted to run something by me. So we also get a chance to then course correct if we made mistakes. So having that person out there with you, when you say, oh, hey, I had all these emails to send and I never ended up sending them. And that gives the other person a chance to give them some sound advice on how to course correct for the next day, right? So that they can head into their next day with a positive outlook and some security, knowing that they can do a little bit better, right? One of the things we do as well is we wrap up any negativity, right? And this is really important. So on this night walk we're talking, this is normally between 7 and 8 p.m. for us. It's summertime now. So we wrap up any negativity, right? Now that doesn't mean if it's just conflict between us. We're talking about if there's any negativity that presented itself at work today, presented itself with the children, presented itself with a friend, neighbor, something like that. Anything that has a negative tone, right? And we also talk about people, places, or things that always, turn the conversation negative. That's important as well. The reason why is because after 8 p.m., man, it's all positivity. It's all positivity before we go to bed. So we got to get whatever negative feelings, whatever negative talk. And we might sometimes have to say, hey, I wanted to talk to you about that relative that's bringing negativity around me lately, but let's just touch on that tomorrow morning. Our bodies are wired to handle elevated cortisol much, much more efficiently during the daytime hours and when we're moving around a lot, right? So at our peak movement times, our body can lower cortisol much, much, much easier, right? So we don't want to spike cortisol late at night. So we will talk about something negative that's lingering on, try to come to a solution, but we won't start a conversation that's going to lead to a debate, an argument, negative feelings, negative memories, what have you. If we can't get through it on that walk, we try not to bring it up till the next day. And that really helps, guys, because, once you get in, get your shower, now it's relaxed time, and there should be nothing but positivity that we're speaking of, or even just peace, silence, we're reading books, whatever, shouldn't be a lot of negativity going on, right? Also, because we're both outdoors, we're both walking. Now this might be you guys sitting on your porch, right? And that works as well. But I've talked in other videos about how calming nature is for the human brain. So as we're both getting a chance to calm, right, we can also right maybe some wrongs that we had throughout that day. So I might be able to say, hey, you know, I noticed that there was laundry in the dryer and I didn't get to it earlier. I was rushing, I had to get on a phone call. So I'll do better with that tomorrow. Because what'll happen sometimes, guys, if we don't talk about that type stuff, that partner goes to bed thinking, oh, they just didn't check the laundry because they don't care about my schedule. They don't care what I had to do today. They don't care if I had things that were pressing me as well. They just left that task there for me. And, you know, they aren't aware of my responsibilities. So that night walk or that nighttime outdoors, it gives you a chance to just look back over your day and say, hey, you know, if there was anything I didn't get to today, I apologize for that. I had a busy day. A lot of stuff was on my mind. So, you know, if I can do better with that tomorrow, I'll do that. Also, you know, man, especially with our health and fitness, we talk about what the plan is for the next day. You know, so it might just be, hey, I had a really good day calorie consumption wise. I got in a lot of protein perhaps. I had a good day with my steps. My HIIT workout was pretty good, or my HIIT workout was trash and I need to do better. Maybe I need to order some new sneakers. Maybe I need some better songs on my playlist, right? But I definitely encourage check-ins with our health and wellness, because man, like that person that you sleep next to, that person that you pay bills with, you share a last name with, they should be the person who's your biggest cheerleader and your biggest supporter. But you have to let them in on what's going on with you, right? You can't always say, oh, everything's cool or everything's okay. That's not detailed enough. They can't help you when those are the answers. So amongst, you know, other subjects and other issues slash solutions that we speak about at night, our health and wellness is important to speak about. Getting negativity on the table and getting it out of the way. Recapping the day to see how our partner did and if there was anything that we can help with the next day to make their days more pleasurable. And then also too, going over daily tasks and responsibilities to make sure that we're holding up our end of the bargain, man. And guys, we know this relationship thing is not always 50-50. It is not always 50-50. Sometimes the other person got to put in 80 because you only have 20. But recognizing that person's 80, appreciating the other person's 20 is what keeps relationships strong. So I strongly encourage you to make some time to get outdoors with your partner after dinner in the evening and start making it a ritual. Start making it something that you guys can do on a daily basis, even on the weekends. You will start to see some changes in your relationship immediately. All right? This is your guy, Coach Mark. This is First Light.